Cool, Francis Maxwell here from TYT Sports, and look at my attire. I look like I'm a Frenchman who has just won 5-2 and sent their team into the semi-finals of the Euros, because yes, I'm on vacation, but I love this tournament and therefore I have to bring you guys a quick recap. So allow me to take off this ridiculous attire that I had on today when I was out fishing and talk to you briefly about the game. 5-2, this is what I warned everyone about when it came to France. This is a team that encompass marathon, not a sprint. They started the game well. You're seeing players like Antoine Griezmann really come to life in this tournament. Paul Pogba getting on the score sheet and finally looking very good throughout. And I think that France, undoubtedly for me, the favourite still. I tipped them to win the tournament. I know many people are going to go with Germany. Some weaknesses were exploited in Germany's game against Italy, and I think that they are beatable. They haven't conceded the goal yet, Germany. That's the only problem that worries me, is that they are a team that still looks so dominant at the back. But I want to go into Germany and I preview a little bit towards the end, and if you are seeing this on YouTube and the quality isn't as good, bear with me. I think that the Wi-Fi in Mexico is about as strong as Jason in an arm wrestling contest, so you have to bear with me for that. So Olivier Giroud was one of the ones who was on the score sheet today for France, but right from the get-go, this Iceland team have rose to the occasion when teams get frustrated at themselves and teams that don't stick to a game plan. Similar to what which happened with Portugal in the group stages, which happened to England. England had no plan B. They didn't even have a plan A, to be honest. But this France team knew their agenda was to get the ball out wide and try and exploit space in behind. And immediately they looked the better team. And immediately the French crowd rallied. I think around 80,000 packed the stadium. It was a drizzly night, kind of like an old British affair, the way the weather was hitting off the players. But to be honest, France were up for this, and this is what I wanted to see from France. This is what everyone wanted to see from the host nation. They wanted to see them really get behind the team and make sure that this team had something to be proud of being a host, because we see Brazil last year, host nation, crash out of the competition in emphatic style. And France are a football nation. This country deserves all the success. This is a country that has been rocked by such horror in the last year or two, and they really needed this tournament to go well. I know many people wanted to touch on this briefly. Were worried about a bang they heard around 5:30 before the game. Some people thought it was an explosion. It was actually a controlled explosion by the police. So worry kind of diverted there. I know a lot of people panicked as soon as they heard, and why not after seeing what happened in the past, but glad things are going smooth and safe at the moment in France. So I wanted to touch on the semi-finals as a whole. On one half we have Portugal versus Wales. If you were to tell me that Wales were in a semi-final and Iceland were in a quarter-final, I would have asked you what you were smoking and probably asked you for a little bit, because you must have been on something to think that was a possibility. But that's what this tournament has stood for, teams that have heart. And no team has shown more heart than Iceland, to be honest. The fans at the end go out the way they came in, chanting that spine-tingling Viking chant that I have loved to have heard in every single game and every step of the way for them. And they went out proud. Grabbing 2 goals against France isn't an easy job. Many people have struggled, and they gave themselves a fighting hope. But this French team, they just looked like today was a message that they wanted to send to the world. And we've seen in the past, as I always refer to, Germany before they finally won the World Cup as of recent times, played like this early on in the competition, phenomenally well. Avoided criticism right up until the semis or the quarters, or a lot of times the final. And then they'd fall at the last hurdle. France took things easy. They didn't panic when they had a rocky opening game. They didn't panic when other people were criticising all of their young star players, and I still think a lot of them are overrated, but they shown up today, and they showed that this is a team that has to be taken seriously throughout. And I think that they've hit form at peak time. There's no better time to hit form before facing Germany in the semi-final of this competition. So as far as I'm concerned, it's anyone's to play for at the moment. Wales can beat Portugal, Portugal can beat Wales, France can beat Germany, and Germany can beat France. It's one of the most unpredictable tournaments at the moment at this point. A lot of people I spoke to throughout this media sphere, and a lot of my friends who work on television networks, Germany, they're basically the old guard now that are a machine, who are hard to break down. But if anyone thought, by the way, to touch on the past game, if anyone thought that there was going to be goals in Germany versus Italy, I don't know if you've been watching soccer or football a long time, or if you need to change sports, because that game was a clear tactical chess match. There was no way you were going to get a lot of goals in that game, and it was exactly how I imagined it panning out. But if there's one thing we're going to take from this tournament, and one thing that we should take from every single tournament that there is in world football, you don't beat the Germans in penalties. The Germans are a tough team to take to penalty kicks. If I was Italy, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more attacking urgency in extra time, realising that you're playing against one of the best penalty kicking nations in the world. Italy aren't bad themselves either, but I just think that they should have at least upped it a little bit towards the end and tried to take something from the game rather than having it go to penalty kicks, in which Germany, for me, are always going to be the favourites. So I know it's been a little rocky trying to get me with a preview coming through to you through Facebook video, but as I said, it's a really tough job to come to Mexico, shoot these videos and upload them. I think I tried to upload the recap yesterday on YouTube, and it was processing at 55% and just stopped. I know I said that the internet was as strong as Jason Rubin playing arm wrestling, but it was as efficient as Scotland in the Euros. So there's my couple analogies for today. So hope you guys can bear with me. I won't be back in the studio until Wednesday, so I will be doing another one of these for the semi-final game that's taking place Tuesday. The semi-final games that are taking place when they come back Tuesday, Wednesday. But I hope everyone has a good 4th of July. Make sure to like, favourite, subscribe, and comment. As always, slag off my attire. I mean, you're used to seeing me in a bow tie and usually a suit, but look at this. I was on a boat today before I went to watch the game, and they call me El Capitano. Peace.